This is a private road. You should see how quick you can go in the Can-Am.
A few people went out.
I may have gone a little bit too quick.
Oh, Jesus!
That was awesome.
Put the Yabbie net back in, so hopefully I can get a few Yabbies.
Absolutely delicious.
I'm on.
The water just goes on forever. Going out there, you can see the whole area is just teeming with life.
So day 6, work up in beautiful Chasey campsite.
Because we're staying overnight again at the same location, we didn't have to pack up camp, so didn't have to get up too early.
One of the very few times I've actually slept in. It was a beautiful sunrise, even though I just got the end of it.
This morning, it's a staple favourite. We are doing egg and bacon muffins. Got the muffins in there toasting up, and a little bit of a secret weapon. I like to get some barbecue sauce in there. Really adds a bit of extra punch and flavour to the dish. So gourmet. And there you go, bacon and eggs, nice, quick and easy, courtesy of the Austrac Campers Kitchen.
So we went out last night to meet Mike at the main road, brought him back in after getting his Can-Am fixed.
You know, every time I get up here, I bang my bloody head on this.
So first thing this morning, you did a bit of a test with it.
Injector number 2 with a fouled plug, all fixed up, right and ready to go.
So we did a few joy rides down the bottom paddock.
You saw that hole there?
7,000 RPM down the paddock in the Can-Am.
That's it. Hold on tight, they're called Jesus bars. Because when you start to go over, you go, oh Jesus!
Gee, it's a little bit lonely here in the Narva Raptor this morning. The hero's actually left me to go help Mike navigate in the Can-Am.
So, today we are fixing a broken down truck.
Station vehicles actually got a flat tyre about 4 months ago.
But they couldn't get the wheel nuts undone. They tried everything. So we said, well, let's go and have a look and see what we can do to assist.
Yeah, that's definitely dead. Jason, don't go too far, we'll need the high lift.
Thought we'd get the strongest guy there, who was Charlie, to give us a hand.
Come on, muscles.
Oh, it's bending.
Oh.
I can't possibly see them being as tight as he made them out to, but hey, you never miss out on having a look at the gun show, do you?
It was pretty rusted on there and there was a fair bit of dirt in there, so a couple of the guys grabbed the hammer and just knocked that about, so we were able to release the nut.
It was then that we found that the tools were incorrect and couldn't actually wind down the spare wheel.
The ARB boys again came to the rescue, got the tyre carrier winder that does the mechanism on the Ranger, brought that out and actually fit the truck, so we ended up getting the spare tyre down.
Yeah, that goes on there. Right, that's on. So hold on to this and where you've got down there and give it a turn. Let's go. There you go.
Fingers crossed the truck starts and runs. Over to you, Rob.
Alright. What am I going to say?
You get in the truck and you start it.
So we wrapped the star pickets down on the back again and Rob was on his way.
And then from there we just continued on our merry way.
So Simon's had to go around him and just go flat out all the way straight down. Some of the spots here where they've actually graded the road up, it's just bull dust, so as soon as you hit it, it's just like...
I'm covered in red sand because there's no windscreen on that Can-Am.
Oh, you can have that, Jeff.
Oh, there's mine here. I reckon it's about time we got onto what they call the kidney breaker.
Well, that sounds interesting. The reports are that it's going to rattle the back teeth out. Looking forward to it.
The caretakers didn't want to go down the track. They said it's too rough and weren't interested in it, so they dropped us off there.
Do they know something that we don't? Are they throwing us under the bus with this track? We just didn't know.
You could see not many people had been along here for a very long time.
We were the first people to drive down this track in about 20 odd years.
Daniel, I'm a bit disappointed. Hardly a kidney popped at all.
Yeah, certainly these well-equipped cars aren't having too many dramas so far. Hopefully there's some better things to come.
Even the stock Ranger at the back isn't having an issue with its suspension.
But as we've experienced a couple of times, you just never know what's over the next sand dune.
Oh yeah, here we go. This looks a bit more like it. A bit more bumpy.
That's better.
Rico, I want to see the big 79 get bumped. I don't reckon you're going hard enough.
Well, I'm going everywhere you're going.
And some places he's not.
Okay, that hurt a little bit.
Then we get the call from the camera crew, as expected. Camera crew car's broken down.
It's always great to have multi-skilled people in the crew. So Jason and Charlie once again got the gig.
And I'm not one just to sit there and do nothing. So I decided, let's go and see what we can do to help out.
Once we got back there, it became pretty evident what the problem was. The charge hose from the turbo had blown off the turbo itself.
And luckily I actually had a little toolkit with me because I had the correct size socket and a little bit of an extension to fit.
Where the hose is located in the engine bay was firstly incredibly hot.
Ah!
And access was difficult in where it was. So with Simon on top pushing the hose down, and I was able to reach in through the guard line and we're able to line the hose up and get it back on the turbo and get the hose clamp back done up.
We're back on the tracks.
Yeah, this track's really turned it on for the last little section, hasn't it?
And it has. The toughest bit was certainly the last section.
And then we did a driver change. Anthony got in the Can-Am and I got in the Narva Raptor.
As we got out of the kidney breaker track, Rob said to Mike from Clearview, hey, this is a private road. I reckon you should see how quick you can go back to camp in the Can-Am. And I tell you what, Mike wasn't hanging around to see if Rob would change his mind.
I think a few of the boys heard me screaming around a few of those turns there, that's for sure.
He must have been back at camp 15 minutes before we all got back.
We're all set up ready for a good night. We've got some firewood there, picked up some mallee roots to burn, which will be good.
So once we got back to camp, we just headed down to where the Yabbie nets were, pulled them out, and yep, we've been successful again. So really looking forward to some more fresh Yabbie tonight. Hopefully we can be a bit more creative and come up with a nice recipe.
Oh, wowee.
That was tuna.
How's that big one? That's a monster.
Give them a whirl.
We're using pre-cooked white rice. It's easier because we're camping and because I don't know how to cook normal rice.
How do you reckon we'll do a MasterChef?
I reckon we will win.
I like your confidence.
Eat me, eat me, eat me.
Fresh Blue Claw Tolarno Yabbies, absolutely delicious. You cannot beat that out in the Outback.
Well, this morning we woke up at Chaffey and it's our last day here at Tolarno Station.
Once again, the weather here in Tolarno has been absolutely sublime.
and we started heading out towards the main road, knowing that we needed to start making our way back to the main station today.
We were going to meet up with the property owner, Rob McBride, and he's got a small mission for us today.
So we finally met up with Rob, and wouldn't you know it, there's a
Pig.
dead pig.
Pig in a trough.
There's a dead pig stuck in the trough, so he needs our help getting it out.
Exciting? Not really.
Out here it's like a desert, so water for the animals out here is absolutely a critical issue. It's just a couple of K off the main road, but to get to it, we've got to cross this section of muddy bog.
We're a little bit apprehensive to tackle it straight away. We did do a bit of a depth check just to see, because there was a big puddle on the left there, and the stick just kept on going and going and going.
No time at all, Simon was up in the big Iveco, unnetched the caravans because they weren't needed. He floored it through, and he got through quite surprisingly easy. That was a cue for the rest of the convoy.
I had a massive point to prove, and I definitely wasn't going to be the one stuck in the mud. Piece of cake.
All the campers were unhitched except Mike. He did not unhitch his trailer. He came through with us.
Then we got to the next section, and yeah, no, it wasn't going to work.
It's just not worth taking the risk of damaging the tracks in the condition they're in or damaging our vehicles.
So we decided to head back around, and we forged our own track around the actual billabong that's formed from the floodwater.
We did have to navigate ourselves around some old stumps, fallen trees.
Beautiful countryside, lovely flora. It's magic to actually drive through and be able to weave in and out the trees.
After a fair hike, we finally got to the trough.
It's not a very deep trough. I can't imagine what happened. Surely he could have just stood up to keep his head out of the water.
Simon and I manhandled him out of there. He was pretty heavy, he was pretty swollen. I reckon he'd been in there for at least a day or so. Don't be alarmed by seeing dead pigs around. It's definitely something the farmer wants to see. Sure enough, not in the water trough, but pigs are an invasive species.
Fat belly, full of tucker, needs a drink, comes in here to the trough, probably got his front legs up and over the trough. Got in there, couldn't quite get his head down to the water, so climbed in a bit further. Would have fallen in, and his short legs and his fat belly would be the end of him. Can't get his way out, his feet would slip out from under him, and probably just got exhausted, drowned.
Over the last few days, we've seen probably an increase of about 30 to 40 to 50 pigs in the close proximity. That concerns us greatly.
They'll eat 4 lambs in one night, and they'll just come up, they'll grab those lambs and eat them live.
The pig will actually dig up the fodder that is just starting to shoot through now that Tolarno's had all this great rain. As all the nice green sprouts come through the ground, they'll go through, they'll dig it all up, they'll take the roots out, and it's going to take months for that grass to come back, if at all. After James and Simon hauled it out, Ruben decided to help nature along on its course. Brought out the big 45-70.
I gave Ruben the permission to shoot the pig because effectively it breaks down far more efficiently, and so instead of the carcass being there for a week and a half, it's there for 2 days.
Weird time, put the gun up on his shoulder.
Oh, put your guns on his shoulder, okay.
Such a Simon thing to do though.
You better believe it, little Ruben.
Ruben, he wanted to make sure it was definitely dead, right? So he killed it another 6 times over, I think.
Put a few rounds in it just to let the body decompose a little bit faster.
And it makes it easier for maybe the other pigs or whatever else to come and eat it and get rid of it.
After we were done with the pig, we got back on the road and headed towards Tolarno station. Simon said that today is a day to enjoy, time to let loose because it had been a full-on 8 days.
Pretty much a free-for-all afternoon. So Grant and myself straight away, fishing rods down the bank.
I'll tell you what's more important than fishing here.
Beer?
No, you've got to get the yabby netting. Robert told us that the yabbies were running on the Darling River. They were going to be even better than what we had over Chafee's camp. So we're really looking forward to getting the yabby net in. What do you reckon, James?
Mate, I hope you've got a big bucket because you're going to catch a lot of yabbies.
Ready to go?
Yes. Let's try and catch some fish. Because of the recent flooding and everything and the water's flowing that little bit quicker, a little bit difficult to flick lures around and try and catch a fish, but hey, we were going to have a go.
Anything, Jeff?
Yeah, clutch. Boys got the boats out, up and down the river, flicking lures, trolling, trying to get a fish.
My God, the water just goes on forever. It's amazing. What a beautiful river system. And Aidan did a little bit of fishing.
I'm on.
Well, wheel him in, mate. Wheel him in. Oh, that's it. Keep him on. Don't pull too hard. Just for your snag.
Definitely a once in a lifetime thing for myself. What a spectacular thing to witness. Going out there, you can see the whole area is just teeming with life.
Rob mentioned that there was a tinny there full of fuel, so Anthony and I jumped in the small boat from Tolarno station here and set out to do a bit of exploring and a little bit of fishing.
The current was really big out there and we were getting pushed around like crazy. I actually haven't done too much fishing in my time, but it was really enjoyable to get out there with James, have a good laugh and try and catch some fish. Tell you what, I'll be pretty flat if we don't catch anything, that's for sure. I reckon it was because there was a camera guy on board. If he wasn't there, we would have caught plenty. I heard Aidan and Grant chucked in a Yabbie net, so I hope they've caught something because we've got nothing.
So after we'd all have a bit of fun in the water, it was definitely time to get the wind flowing over our hair.
Luckily Mike brought all the toys. Can-Am was out cutting out hot laps in no time at all and a few people went out.
I may have gone a little bit too quick. Poor old Mike, I think he got a bit of a fright. It was a lot of fun. They are a great machine, they're very safe to drive, you know what you're doing. Reuben then got in the Can-Am, then Hannah hopped in, off he went. I'm pretty sure I could hear her squealing from where we were standing. She was having a great time.
Kids just come back with a grin from one ear right round to the other.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's getting late in the afternoon. It's been a long, hot and dry day. Rob has told us of a billabong which has got really nice crystal clear water.
This billabong was beautiful, 40 degrees and I was itching to jump in somewhere.
The last 10 days while we've been out here, I've got to say, have been so enjoyable. I'm not going to forget it.
The Murray Darling in flood. Now that's once every maybe 10 to 20 years. I'm very, very blessed to actually see that.
The contrast has just been unbelievable. As you move away, you certainly see the change in the terrain, a really dry and harsh environment.
Sand dunes were my favourite. It was so much fun.
First time I've caught a yabbie. Been a great experience. Learned how to cook them and eat them.
Very nice.
Pretty much every night we had a campfire going. It was really special to be spending time with everyone.
Definitely had a blast here on your 4x4. Definitely looking forward to the next one. Can't wait. Simon did say the next trip is going to be something very special.
And a very special trip indeed. Later in the year, we head to the stunning Red Centre to bring you a brand new 5-part series in the heart of Australia's outback. We'll showcase the best scenery, including rugged, rocky gorges, historic sites, and sunset-lit backdrops, as well as the fun, challenges, and triumphs of travelling in such a remote and harsh landscape. So join us for all that and more as we venture to Ruby Gap and beyond.